Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. The 9 men to win multiple French Open titles. Rafael Nadal No. Novak Djokovic with 3. 9 men in the Open era have won multiple French Open titles, with Carlos Alcaraz looking to make it 10 in 2025. Here we look at the most successful men's champions in modern Roland Garros history. 7. Sergi Bruguera, 2 titles, 1993 to 94. One of just 2 Spanish men to win multiple French Open titles in the Open era. Bruguera won both his Grand Slam singles titles in Paris. However, that did not prove to be his only taste of success at Roland Garros. Djokovic rallied from 2 sets down against Stefanos Tsitsipas in the 2021 final, before winning his most recent French Open title with victory over Casper Ruud in 2023. 3. Gustavo Kuerten, 3 titles, 1997, 2001. One of the most surprising champions in Roland Garros history, Kuerten also became one of the event's most popular champions. The Brazilian was unseeded and had never won an ATP Tour title before his triumph in 1997, beating former champion Bruguera in straight sets. Kuerten would then return to the final in 2000 and battled past Magnus Norman to triumph, before completing a successful title defense by beating Alex Corretja in 2001. 3. Ivan Lendl, 3 titles, 1984, 1986 to 87. One of the greatest clay court players of all time. Former world No. 1 Lendl won 3 of his Grand Slam titles in Paris. After 4 Grand Slam final losses, the Czech finally lifted his first major title at the event in 1984, rallying from 2 sets down to stun fellow legend John McEnroe. Lendl regained his title in 1986 with victory over Michael Pernfors, and defended his title in 1987 after beating leading rival Mats Wilander. French Open news. Tim Henman makes bold Novak Djokovic Grand Slam prediction as he aims to silence his doubters. Reigning Roland Garros men's winners' undefeated first-round record remains intact. 3. Mats Wilander, 3 titles, 1982, 1985, 1988. A 5-time finalist in Paris. Former world No. 1 Wilander would go on to claim 3 of his 7 major singles titles at the French Open. Unseeded and searching for his first tour-level title, the Swede stunned former champion Guillermo Vilas to triumph for the first time in 1982. Wilander then regained his title in 1985 with victory over rival Lendl, and lifted his 3rd and final title in 1988 after downing home favorite Henri Leconte. 2. Bjorn Borg, 6 titles, 1974 to 75, 1978 to 81. One of the most iconic figures in tennis history, Borg won 6 of his 11 Grand Slam singles titles at the French Open, in one of the most dominant runs ever seen in Paris. Borg was still a teenager when he rallied from 2 sets down to beat Manuel Orantes in the 1974 final, then beating Vilas to successfully defend his crown in 1975. The Swede would beat Vilas to regain his title in 1978, kickstarting a run of 4 straight Roland Garros triumphs. Borg defeated Victor Pecci in 1979 and Vitas Gerulaitis in 1980, before fending off Lendl in the 1981 final for his final major title. 1. Rafael Nadal, 14 titles, 2005 to 8, 2010 to 14, 2017 to 2022. Will anyone ever come close to breaking Nadal's record of 14 French Open titles? Quite frankly, it seems very unlikely. Nadal downed Mariano Porta in the 2005 final to triumph on his tournament debut, and then defeated Roger Federer in 3 straight finals from 2006 to 8. After a shock loss to Robin Soderling in the 4th round in 2009, Nadal beat the Swede in the 2010 final, and then beat Federer again in 2011, Djokovic in both 2012 and 2014, and David Ferrer in 2013. The Spaniard ended a 3-year wait for further silverware by thrashing Stan Wawrinka in the 2017 final before back-to-back final triumphs over Dominic Thiem in 2018 and 2019. Nadal defeated Djokovic in the 2020 final for his 13th title and prevailed one final time against Ruud in 2022. Clay Court Kings, the 9 men who conquered Roland Garros more than once. In the rich red dust of Paris, under the gray skies of early summer, legends are born and dynasties forged. The French Open, also known as Roland Garros, is not merely a tennis tournament. It's a test of character, endurance, and a love affair with clay. While many have chased glory on this unforgiving surface, only a select few have returned more than once to taste victory. Of all these warriors, 9 men have managed to win the Coupe des Mousquetaires more than once. Here, we delve into their stories, with one name towering above all: Rafael Nadal. 1. Rafael Nadal, 14 titles, 2005 to 2022. The King of Clay. No story about the French Open can begin without Rafael Nadal. His reign in Paris isn't just dominant, it is mythical. The young Spaniard arrived in 2005, a teenager with long hair, pirate shorts, and a forehand that kicked like a mule. He left that year as champion. He came back again, and again, and again. In a span of 18 years, Nadal captured 14 titles, more than most greats win in their entire careers. His record at Roland Garros is an almost incomprehensible 112-3 as of 2023. Nadal's style was tailor-made for clay. His topspin-heavy shots bounced high off the slow surface, and his tenacity turned every rally into a war of attrition. But what truly separated him was not just physical prowess, it was willpower. Down 2 sets to love, injured, facing the best in the world, Nadal didn't flinch. He played like Paris was his backyard, the red dirt his inheritance. Roland Garros wasn't just where Nadal played his best, it was where he became immortal. 2. Novak Djokovic, 3 titles, 2016, 2021, 2023. The challenger to the throne. Where Nadal ruled, Djokovic sought to dethrone. And in time, he did. 3 times. Novak Djokovic is the only man to defeat Nadal at the French Open twice, 2015 and 2021. That fact alone gives him a special place in Parisian history. His first Roland Garros title in 2016 completed the career Grand Slam. His second, in 2021, saw him come back from 2 sets down against Stefanos Tsitsipas in the final after ousting Nadal in a classic semifinal. In 2023, at the age of 36, Djokovic lifted the trophy again, becoming the oldest Roland Garros champion in history. Djokovic's mastery of angles, mental steel, and elasticity made him uniquely equipped to survive the clay's grind. He was never embraced by Paris in the way others were. But history doesn't play favorites. It counts trophies. And Djokovic, with 3, stands tall among the greats. 3. Gustavo Kuerten. 3 titles, 1997, 2000, 2001. The Brazilian magician. Before Nadal's reign, it was Guga who made clay beautiful. Gustavo Kuerten arrived at the 1997 French Open, ranked No. 66 in the world. With his curly hair, infectious smile, and fluid one-handed backhand, he stormed to the title, defeating 2 former champions and a future one. It was magic, samba, and strategy rolled into one. Guga would return to claim Roland Garros twice more, in 2000 and 2001. He wasn't just a champion, he was beloved. When he drew a heart in the clay after his 2001 win, he etched himself into Parisian folklore. His joy was infectious, his tennis elegant. In an era of baseline bludgeoning, Kuerten made clay court tennis look like art. 4. Ivan Lendl. 3 titles, 1984, 1986, 1987. The relentless machine. Lendl was not beloved in the same way as Kuerten, but he was feared. A pioneer of modern power baseline tennis, Lendl brought science to the clay courts. He trained harder, hit harder, and thought deeper than most of his contemporaries. In 1984, he won his first Grand Slam at Roland Garros, overcoming a 2-set deficit to beat John McEnroe in a dramatic final. That win flipped the switch. He would add 2 more titles in the next 3 years. Lendl was the prototype for what the modern clay courter would become. Physically dominant, mentally disciplined, and mercilessly consistent. 5. Mats Wilander. 3 titles, 1982, 1985, 1988. The teenage wonder. Before Nadal won the French Open at 19, Mats Wilander did it at 17. In 1982, Wilander emerged from Sweden like a silent assassin. He wasn't flashy, but he was surgical. His court craft and tactical intelligence frustrated opponents, and his ability to adapt allowed him to win in 3 different decades of tennis style. Wilander won 3 French Opens in total, each time adding new wrinkles to his game. In 1988, he capped off a dream season by winning 3 majors, including Roland Garros, and finishing the year as World No. 1. 6. Jim Courier. 2 titles, 1991, 1992. The American muscle. In an era dominated by big servers and fast courts, Courier was an outlier, an American who thrived on clay. His forehand was a weapon, and his grit matched the European grinders. Courier's 1991 and 1992 victories were achieved not with finesse, but with power and pressure. He was a workhorse, outlasting rivals, and never shying from the long haul. His back-to-back French Open titles confirmed that the clay could be conquered by force as much as by finesse. 7. Sergi Bruguera. 2 titles, 1993, 1994. The Silent Storm. Bruguera wasn't the flashiest, but he was unshakable. In the early 90s, with Spain still waiting for a true clay court king, Bruguera answered the call. He outlasted Jim Courier in a 5-set epic in 1993, then returned to defend his title the next year. His defensive play, heavy topspin, and stubbornness made him a nightmare on clay. His victories paved the way for the Spanish Revolution that would later see the likes of Ferrero, Moya, and of course, Nail. 8. Jan Codes. 2 titles, 1970, 1971. The pre-Open era titan. Codes is a name often overlooked, but history remembers. In the early 70s, before the Open era had fully matured, the Czech player was a force. He won back-to-back French Opens in 1970 and 1971 with a game built on tactical patience and relentless pressure.